Hello. Right, I hope you can hear me this time because I just made a major balls up on what I was doing. So if someone wants to chuck me a thumbs up once they come in, that would be perfect. Just waiting. Hello, anybody there? Can people hear me? Can you hear me? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me on the comments? Right, thank you. Yes, Tara, thank you very much. God, what a nightmare I'm having today. The dog's bloody trying to come in as well now. Bear with me, for God's sake. Right, so what am I going to talk about today? Well, it's major news actually. So let me get my banners ready. I'm completely all a kerfuffle now after what was a really shit start there. Sorry, guys. Right, so surgeries. So when I was diagnosed in 2015, we had no idea to the extent of how bad the cancer was at that point because I couldn't have a dye contrast with my CT scan. So we could never rule in whether the lungs were involved or not. If you hear panting in the background, it's my dog. Right, out. And basically, once my little girl was born, we then discovered that how bad the cancer was and that it spread to my lungs because I could then have dye contrast. And that was when the cancer was deemed stage 4, incurable, whatever. But as you know, if you followed me up until this point, I've not died yet. Obviously, I'm still here 6 years down the line, and I have no intention of going anywhere. The signs are showing that I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to live with cancer for a very, very long time, probably outlive everybody, which is great. So the difficulty with the type of cancer I have, inflammatory breast cancer, is that prognosis is really shit. Generally, it's very aggressive. People don't really know about it. It's 1.8% of breast cancer, so people just kind of tend to either not realize it's there or forget it's there in the first place. And reconstruction is something that people with stage 4 inflammatory breast cancer just don't really have. There's a plethora of reasons. Can't be asked with the surgery because they've been through so much already. Time is potentially restricted and they don't want to spend time convalescing, recovering. And there is a risk. There's a risk with any surgery that you can reactivate cancer cells and they can flood to the site to aid healing and things like that. But because I've been so well for so long, I'm kind of a bit of an enigma in the sense that surgery is an option for me, reconstruction is an option for me. That is bloody unusual. I cannot find anybody really at all anywhere on our planet that has had stage 4 inflammatory breast cancer reconstruction. Now, there will be people out there that have done that. They're just either getting on with their own lives off social media, and which is wonderful. So, but it's difficult when you're the first one to take that leap. And I know that there are people, there's one person particularly coming up very soon behind me that's having it as well. And I'm sure she'll be watching to wonder how it goes. So I'm having a really random thing called a DEP, which is a deep inferior epigastric perforator. It means absolutely fuck all to me, those words. What it really means is they're going to take what is relatively now quite a small tummy of mine and fashion it into a boob. They're going to take it off, the fat, the tissue, the skin, and schnizzle it up into a boob and transport it back on. When I've been saying to people I'm having a donor site breast, people are imagining me walking around with Ethel down the streets tummy fat stuck to me. That's not what's happening. It is my own tummy. And when I say I don't have a lot, people have obviously generously offered to give me their COVID coats that they've grown over the last year. Unfortunately, guys, thank you for the offer, but I can't do that either. It's got to be my own site, basically. So it will be a small boob, but it will be a boob. And what it did make me think about is it cast my mind back to when I had my mastectomy originally, which I came out of hospital with drains sort of coming out of the side of me, which sounds absolutely vile. It's bags to allow blood and God knows whatever else to drain away from the site, and you come home with them in a little bag. And I remember after about 5 days of being at home, being bored, that I decided that I needed to go out, and I went to the cinema. And basically, I remember thinking, this is the first time I was worried about muggers. The reason being is I imagined if anybody ran up to me and decided, I'm going to nick this bird's bag, and they yanked it off of my shoulder, not only would they detach my drain bags from my body, ripping my stitches and leaving me in complete agony, they'd also leg it round to the back of the NCP, open the bag to discover what they managed to steal, and find that some random woman in Bristol is wandering around with 2 black bags of blood and God knows what else in her handbag. So it was quite strange, really, and but also very amusing. Now, with the recovery being 6 to 12 weeks, which is quite extreme, and hard for somebody like me who is exceptionally active, I'm always running around like a headless chicken. I've got several jobs that I do because I'm self-employed, and I've got horse, I've got kids, everything is manic, absolutely manic. So how am I going to deal with it? Well, it's going to be really difficult, because obviously then when you're led on your arse, you start to process things. So, I mean, I'm sure there'll be some anxiety in there when I haven't slept properly and I start thinking about things, and I might feel a bit sorry for myself, which is not really me, but that's potentially going to happen. So why am I putting myself through all this just for a tit? Well, I have asked myself that question quite a few times. And actually, I guess the main thing is that it's another humongous step for me, that was never an option initially and now is. B, puts another massive wedge between me being a cancer patient and me being not normal. Let's be honest, I'm never going to be that. I don't want to be fucking normal either. I just want to be me. But it's another wedge between that side, that tiny, what I feel like now, cancer being a very small part of my life. It's putting a massive gap between that and me, you know, being able to go out and be able to buy normal clothing, nice bras, hopefully at some point, rather than the gigantic borderline minging bras that you get when you've had breast surgery. Being able to buy a bikini that isn't specially made. Yeah, and also having a cleavage again, rather than just a cleave, because it would be quite nice actually to be able to wear normal clothes and not have to wear things that completely cover every part of your chest. But most importantly, and what I'm looking forward to the most, is you do know I tend to love swearing, and I absolutely love certain phrases. And for the last couple of years, there's one in particular I haven't been able to say properly, and that is, you are getting right on my tits. Because people always remind me, you've only got one. So I can only ever say you're getting on my tit. But now I'll be able to say again with full honesty that you are getting right on my tits. So I'm really looking forward to that. I can't wait to have the surgery. Yes, it's going to be hard work. It's next Tuesday. So I see you next Tuesday. It's next Tuesday. And honestly, I can't wait. I can't wait for that, another step towards reclaiming another thing that cancer has taken away from me. So thank you very much for listening. Sorry about the technical issues at the beginning, but you know, that's life, isn't it? And wish me luck. And I'll be updating you, because I'll have all else to do, let's be honest, for the next sort of 6 weeks. So yeah, thanks guys, and I hope that's given you a bit of an insight into what a DEP is, and the other options that are out there for breast reconstruction. Thanks for listening. Take care, guys. Bye.